update on my Tesla situation. My 2020 Standard Range Plus Tesla of the Model 3 variety. Messed that up. Um, I named him Elroy. Loved the car, loved it, loved it, loved it. But I sold it. And the reason for the sale was because my wife and got some plans to do some road trips this season, and I wanted to go ahead and get a long range. Now, theoretically, my day-to-day, everyday use, I recommend the Standard Range Plus is about all you need. But um, we got some trips we got planned, and I didn't want to, you know, make multiple stops for these trips for charging. Although the Standard Range Plus did perfectly fine on it. I'm not even knocking it. Didn't have any issues being stranded or anything like that. But case in point, here in Charlotte, we took a trip to Savannah, and I had to make maybe two stops. I think I stopped in Florence and it's one outside of Charleston. I can't think of it. Santee. Um, Before we got into Savannah. As opposed to if I mapped it with the long range, it would have got us straight there with it. So that's one of the reasons. But um, I think I probably could have maybe made it in one stop because on that trip to Savannah, it was my wife, two of my daughters. One of my daughters, she's on the big side, and we all four of us had luggage, so the car was loaded. I mean, the front, the trunk, and then four passengers. And I'm not a small person. I'm on the 250 plus side. Um, my wife and my youngest daughter are small, but my middle daughter made up for it. I mean, she's about as big as I am. So, having all that in the Standard Range Plus, you know, I think it did its job. So theoretically, and also it was a little bit cooler. The temperature outside was cooler, so I'm pretty positive I could have got it there with one stop if it was just my wife and I. But that said, what I wanted to do was talk about the process of selling it. I went with Carvana. Carvana, my lord, I mean they hooked me up. I had the car for a year, and when I sold the car, I had 9,988 miles on it. I went through Tesla at first. Um, Tesla is going to lowball you. I don't know why. I'm not saying it in a negative way, and none of my videos are going to be degrading Tesla. Um, I don't have any reason to, but I'm just telling you the process. Went through Tesla, and at the time I owed maybe 32,000, just using that number, but it's pretty close. And um, Tesla offered me 27 for it. And I was like, no. So I did go. I looked at Vroom. Vroom at first was gonna be the winner. I think they were giving me like right at 32, right around the amount that I owed the first time I went through it, and then I let that offer expire. So Vroom is kind of funny. When you go back to it, they're gonna lowball you. They're, oh, welcome back. Now we're gonna give you less since you're coming right back. So I thought that was funny. So the second time they wanted to give me 31, and I owed 32. So um, people who know me, my wife is the finance person in the family between the two of us, and she didn't want me paying any money out, which that makes sense. I mean, I get that. I mean, I wasn't gonna, get rid of one car and sell it and then have to go to Tesla and put down more money plus a little bit off of what I owed on the first one. So I didn't go with Rum, so I looked at Carvana, ran through the whole process on my phone. In fact, I did everything on my phone, which was pretty easy, but on all of them. But submitted everything through Carvana. Their process was, gave them all the info, the VIN and all that stuff. Um, Everything, the color, but most of it they had all that. So end up Once I submitted that initial paper, or not paperwork, but documentation that they needed, they sent me an offer back, offering me almost 3,000 more than what I owed for the car. So they had my attention right then and there. So I wasn't gonna let that wait, because I think the offer was good for I forget how many days, maybe 7 days. I forget offhand, but so I went ahead and went through, started that process. I told my wife, all right, I got one. I'm gonna go ahead and start this process. And I did it, like I said, all through my phone. Um, they wanted a picture of the dash, well, the screen. They wanted all four corners showing the mileage. I had to send them that. A few other pictures, but it wasn't that bad at all. In fact, the only holdup was myself, because I kind of dragged my feet throughout the process. But in the end, it ended up working out fine. So um, once all of that was submitted, I had to send in the loan information. The payoff, I had to do, they wanted a 10-day payoff and all that. So I'm sure stuff, I'm not telling nobody anything different they don't know. So went through that. They said, did I want the vehicle to be picked up, or would I drop it off? Where I live in downtown Charlotte, the Carvana location is off of South Boulevard, so it's not too far. It's a couple miles away. I figure I'll drop it off. Made an appointment for that. Um, I made sure I got out my floor mats, other accessories that I had bought, because I knew I was getting another Model 3, and so I'm glad I pulled all that out and saved it. Um, but that process, I mean, I got there. They went outside, looked at the car, did a walk around, and just went ahead and credit my account. Now, initially on that day, I ask you, do you want to receive a check, direct deposit, or you can put in your debit card and they'll just send it straight to your account, as far as the money that you will make aside from what they're going to pay off. So they're going to pay off the bank. They're going to take care of that information, because you have to submit all that over to them. But the leftover, which was like about $3,000, um, they just basically direct deposited that, and that day, before I even walked out, I mean, it hit my account. But that process was fast and easy. I mean, I was at Carvana for this part of it, like taking the vehicle in. I got there late, um, and I might have been there for that maybe 10, 15 minutes. If that, the longest part for me was waiting on a Uber ride to pick me up and bring me back home, which they paid for. So that was pretty cool. So I do recommend the Carvana process. It went smoothly. Um, Once I had that, I went ahead and um, prior to that, right near the end of the Carvana thing, I went ahead and placed my order for the Model 3. Um, because it dawned on me, it's like, once I sell my car, doggone, I won't have a car. So um, I think like the maybe 2 or 3 days before me getting rid of the car, I went ahead and placed the order. So other than that, Tesla, they wanted proof of the payoff and stuff of that nature, and Carvana gives you that. They give you a receipt for that. So that whole process was very, 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 very easy. Was pretty funny. I laughed with my wife about it. I was like, man, I bought and sold a car all from my cell phone. Um, and I mean, that part right there was actually pretty cool. So, um, like I said, it was great working with Carvana. I highly recommend it. If you're going to sell your vehicle, um, at least that's been my experience. I'm going to say, if you're going to trade or sell your car back, or your Tesla back into Tesla, I don't know. I mean, like I said, mine was a Model 3 2020 Model 3 Standard Range Plus with 9,900 miles, and I mean, they straight up lowballed me. So it was. I mean, I get it. So I mean, I wasn't my feelings wasn't hurt over or anything like that. I was a little, was taken aback by it, but yeah, I got over it. So thankfully Carvana was there. So my next video, I'll talk about the Model 3. I didn't want to make this super duper long. I can't stand getting on some YouTube videos and you do a search for something and then that person takes like 50 minutes just to talk about one thing, and the last 2 minutes of the video is what you actually came to look for. So I'll do another video about the new long range that I have. But this one here was just letting you guys know I did sell my Elroy, and I now have Ghost. So I like this. Um, I'll talk about the subtle differences, but like I said, if you're looking to sell your car, Carvana was the way to go for me, and it probably be the way to go for you. So, all right, y'all have a good one.